When my parents got married, my dad was 42 and my mom was 23. My mom kind of looked like Jackie Kennedy. My dad kind of looked like Albert Einstein. My dad was a physicist and a freelance scientist in the era when it was possible to earn a living as a freelance scientist. My mom was a homemaker and then a sales representative for a Japanese company when the era when it was possible to earn a living as a freelance scientist ended. My mom spent a lot of time with me and my two older brothers and took us to museums and classical music concerts because she wanted us to be cultured and worldly. My dad spent a lot more time with my two older brothers than with me because they were a lot more capable of understanding mathematics than I was. My mom was into making regular meals special occasions by using the good dishes. My dad, when left to his own devices, would eat peanut butter from the jar. My mom always dressed well even if she didn't have to, and would frequently be the most elegant person in the room. My dad would frequently do physics in the kitchen in his underwear. My mom once called me from work and had me look through her office because she had lost a book called Getting Organized. My dad once swore me to secrecy when he emptied an ashtray in a wastebasket and set it on fire. I can understand why my mom's favorite movies are Roman Holiday and Casablanca. I can also understand why my dad's favorite movie is Best Years of Our Lives, but I never understood his fondness of Gus the Wonder Mule. My mom wanted me to do something financially stable, like be a doctor or a lawyer. My dad wanted me to do something important that would get my name in the paper. My mom would get angry when I got bad report cards. My dad would every once in a while look up from his physics and ask me, "Are you getting good grades?" And I would say, yeah. And he would say, "Oh, that's good." When my parents would argue, my brain would sort of gloss over, and I would just wait for the argument to be over. To this day, when I hear people arguing, I find it hard to think, and I can't talk. My mom worried about some of the kids that I hung around with. My dad noticed that a couple of them were girls with big tits. My mom would notice whenever I came home smelling like cigarettes. My dad didn't notice when 3 police cars came to break up a party I was having in our basement, even though he was only 1 flight up the stairs in the kitchen. I'm not sure when my mom figured out that me and my brothers were slightly maladjusted outsiders. I'm not sure if my dad ever did notice that me and my brothers were slightly maladjusted outsiders. I hardly ever talk to my dad on the phone. My mom leaves me messages that last upwards of 3 minutes on my voicemail. I always got the sense that my mom had regrets because she thought she had not done enough with herself. I always got the sense my dad felt that he had done plenty with himself and he was waiting for the world to recognize him for it. I don't like to talk to my mom about my ambitions because, well, let me put it this way. If I mention to my mom that I'm interested in going from point A to point B, she will immediately start talking about how great and wonderful everything will be when I get to point C. I've never understood how I can simultaneously be incredibly frustrated by my parents and also intensely protective of them. It's probably a rather common experience in your teenage years to feel like you have nothing in common with your parents, and then later on you look at your parents' personalities and then your own and you say, "Oh, I get it now."